Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Jaya Radhe Sham. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Haribol.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. So, on behalf of ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, I'd like to welcome you all to this Bhadra Purnima celebration. And we are very, very honored to have with us today His Holiness Vedavyasa Priya Swami Maharaj. He is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. A brief bio, I will like to introduce Maharaj. Of course, his accomplishments are many in the service of Srila Prabhupada, but I'd like to share a few highlights. So Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada's disciples in 1971 when he had come here to America to work and study. And then eventually he met Srila Prabhupada and he took initiation again. He met Prabhupada again in 1976 and he took initiation from Srila Prabhupada. And since then, he has been preaching for Srila Prabhupada. Mostly his service has been, initially it was in life member cultivation. And he was instrumental in bringing the Srinath Ji deity that we see in New Vrindavan. There was a long history to it. It was initially meant to be in New York, but then the deities ended up in New Vrindavan. If you go and see them, Maharaj installed them. It was instrumental. Since 1998, Maharaj is also an initiating spiritual master. He preaches mostly in India now, I think, but probably he travels all over the world. He has acted in different capacities as GBCs. So let us give a warm welcome to Maharaj and say Hari Bol thrice. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj's name is perfectly apt according to the occasion today, Bhadra Purnima, Vedavyasa Priya Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So we'll hear from his transcendental mouth some instructions. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Can I have kartal? जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारे गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारे यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारे जमुना तीर वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारे गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारे गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारे यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीर वनचारे जमुना तीर वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारे गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारे गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारे यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीर वनचारे जमुना तीर वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारे जय विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस ऑफ चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बेबी फाउंडर आचार्य जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजमयी वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायपुर धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समावित भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshulmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं जैन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि श्री हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। It's nice that you completed this temple. I came last year and gave class in the front building. But then I went for seeing all the things that is getting ready. I was thinking there was going to be a balcony, I was told, but they changed the plan. Anyway, it's a beautiful temple, and still the front part is remaining. Where is the front? I lost the sense of direction. Is this front? No. Really? Never saw the trees growing in the front. Anyway, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead is residing, and we are given opportunity to understand Him through the divinity which is cultivated by using our brain and understanding thoroughly the transcendental nature of Lord Shri Krishna and all around Him. There is hardly anything left which cannot be attributed to Him, because everything emanates from Him. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Buddha bhava means an intellectual perception in interacting with the Supreme Lord in the form of the deity, which is non-different from His personality. His name is non-different from Him. So we have to cultivate some Buddha bhava. Buddha bhava means an intellectual perception. An intellectual thing means we have mind as well as intelligence also, right? But there is a superiority. Mind is not the supreme. Krishna says, Indriyani pararahu indriyabhya param manaha manasasto paror buddhe buddhestu sa eva para. Superior than our gross body is the finer senses. And superior than the senses is the mind. But superior than the mind is intelligence. And the soul is superior to intelligence also. So, understanding this sequence, we don't approach anything through our mind. Mind is a little reservoir or memory bank of all the sense perceptions that we receive. It doesn't do anything, only the soul is interacting, and if it depends upon his mind too much, then he will be misguided. Rather, he has to depend upon the intelligence. That is what Krishna says in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita itself. The intelligence has a function to discriminate between what is real and what is temporary. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate asat. Ubhayor api drashtvanta tattadarshibihi. If you are seeker of truth, seeker of your own reality, then you should understand that for the eternal there is no cessation, and for the temporary there is no endurance. This is intelligence. Why do we have to live a life of temporary situations all around? How long will you study? It is time limited. How will you enjoy the life? It is also time limited. But if you understand right from the childhood all the way till you become old, to ready to give up your body, if you understand through the help of our discriminating faculty called intelligence, then this fact has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam. How do we win over our own ignorance? So, there are two types of good that we anticipate, or we try to look into the daily affairs. We desire that we should do good, we should perform good. But what is good and what is bad? Krishna says, I am not attached to either good or bad. Both are same. Both are same. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na dveshti na priyosi. I am equal to all. Sarva bhuteshu. There is nobody dear to me, neither I envy anybody. But ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya te api te chashvaham. If one is my devotee, then I will always make sure that he is protected, he will be favored by me. Because the way he worships me, I also reciprocate. So, good and bad is never to be considered in devotional service. But at the same time, in a practical way, we always prefer that we should be good boys, good girls. But then, what does it mean? How far? Sometimes our ego will dictate something else. An ego which is wrongly taking shelter of the mind, then that ego is very, very destructive. If our ego is in mode of goodness, but still it will not liberate us, because there is an anticipation of happiness and knowledgeability. Two things. So they are binding factors in the material world. The whole life you may strive for acquiring knowledge, and it will give you sort of happiness by an ego in the mode of goodness. Ego is affected by the three modes of material nature. So if you think all your life, do good, don't hate anybody, it doesn't solve the problem. It will not liberate you. Only liberating is transcending from the effect of the three modes. Not only one mode, not only two modes, but three. All the three modes are material modes. They are keeping us bound up. So, Vyasadeva wrote so much literature. So many things he has described in so many different topics, and they are written in different, Vedic literatures, the 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads. He already did 17 Puranas, but he still was despondent. He himself was not happy. He was not contented. He was not satisfied. So Narad Muni showed him, you took all the divine potencies awarded to you by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but you never used in His favor. You wanted to do so-called good for the people in general, but actually that is not good. With the potency of the Supreme Lord, that is transcendental, and you have to glorify Him in those terms only. So, he got chastisement after doing all these things. So Vyasadeva understood, yes, the Supreme Lord's potency is divine. And he already said in Bhagavad Gita, which concluded after writing Srimad Bhagavatam, he wrote Mahabharata, not before that. And he deliberately, put chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, the whole Mahabharata is nothing but politics of the worlds. Everything you can know. But Bhagavad Gita was very distinguishing, instructions where it came out from the mouth of Lord Himself. It's not that the Lord was playing the part of God. No, He was God. He doesn't have to play a role. So, because Arjuna was put in such a perplexed condition that he was so good for everybody else, he thought the family life was all in all. So, we see out of his maturity, Vyasadeva realized both Lord Shri Krishna and Maya, which was also standing by the side. But generally, Maya is absent where Krishna is not there. But Maya is also Krishna's energy. How can you separate this energy? There is only one energy, and that is internal, or what you call the spiritual energy. But for our understanding, he made it little different from his own original internal potency. That is external potency. Bahiranga Shakti is Maya. But Maya is one, not two. Maya is one, and that is his internal potency. Therefore, the jivas are also his integral part and parcel of the internal potency. But the element of envy and misuse of minute independence, the intelligence was corrupted. And they could not survive on their own. Just like a spark coming out from the fire get extinguished. So, Vyasadeva saw both Krishna and by the side Maya. And then he understood the transcendental nature because he got the instruction directly from Narad Muni to describe for the ultimate welfare of mankind. When we are in the material energy and surrounded by our friends and family who are also having the same attitude, because nobody is born learned, simply by separation we forgot. We lost our original identity. Krishna bhuli gela jeev bhogavancha gare maya tare japati adhare. So, you can't imitate Krishna, but because you have the same qualitative identification with Krishna, you may be misled to think that by separating from Krishna you will enjoy your own. But where are the resources? The spiritual resources were supposed to be used for the service of the Lord, and thereby we partake the remnants as His mercy, and we were well with Him. But as soon as little minute, in what you call misuse of independence, ichha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sargayanti parantama. Everybody, without any exception, fell into the material life because two factors, ichha and dvesh. So Srila Vyasadeva targeted in Srimad Bhagavatam that he compiled by the inspiration of his spiritual master, that these two factors, ichha and dvesh, can be only terminated by loving devotional service. Love and devotional service. So, loving devotional service is the nature of transcendental category. It's not material. But we try to mix up. Because we are mixed up, we try to mix up bhakti also with our material intelligence. That is not fair. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishne sudhamopagate dharma jnanadibi saha. When Krishna left, even dharma and jnana also left along with him. Kalau nashta drashamesha purano arko adhunodita. In Kali Yuga we lost the sight. But Vyasadeva understood that what is the most long-term benefit for human, that is called Shreya. Right now, we are all still hanging in the prayer or temporary benefits. Why do you have to go to Krishna and ask for temporary benefits? Because we are habituated by ignorance of our own reality. Now, how will we pulling out from the total, unfounded, unreal situations that does not belong us? Rather, it makes us struggle for existence all the time. Few become successful, others become completely ruined. What is the success rate in any field of activity? It's called struggle against the existence. But we do not agree with Darwin. Darwin doesn't have a clue of what will be the survival aspect. He concluded survival of the fittest. Okay, but he never showed how do you become fit in your existence. By external power, muscular power, probably they are the weakest people. When the bodybuilders are there, they don't have that kind of strength. Only the curvatures of muscles that they're brought out, we are attracted. Oh, he must be very strong. But no. He will be totally lame if you hit him on certain parts of the body. And he can easily be defeated. Okay, the fat samurai of Japan, they are so strong. Even though ordinary fat person like me cannot be strong, all right? But samurai are so strong. But better are our wrestlers. They don't have that kind of muscular body, but they have a lot of power. To grow up muscles is not the sign of strength. It's a shape of the body, not the functions of the muscles they are shaping. Regardless, these are the examples that we see, but we never think of what will be the real situation. So therefore, a systematic education was there. The word educare means to bring about what you have forgotten. And we forgot about our reality, which is connected to Lord Shri Krishna, that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Qualitatively one, but quantitative difference is there. Our size is very insignificant. Can you imagine 1/10,000 of your tip of the hair? That is your soul, that is your real. And what it is doing in 85 kilos of body weight. But that particle has immense potencies. The soul in an elephant is also very same size, 1/10,000 part. But that little soul is moving the whole, how many kilos of weight? Several thousand kilos of weight of an elephant. It's a tiny soul. The size of the soul is same in every living entity. It doesn't mean that because you are educated, you have a bigger soul. No. Or you want to become an elephant or a dinosaur that has a bigger soul. No. Soul is soul. It is only part and parcel, insignificant part and parcel of the Supreme Whole. But it's endowed with Chit Shakti, Chetana. When we got separated from Krishna, we were extinguished. But Krishna expanded himself and permeated in us as Paramatma, smaller than the smallest. Anoraniyam mahato mahiyan. He can become smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. And he infused that extinguished spark with consciousness. So consciousness is spiritual energy. Don't misuse it. Don't make your consciousness, which has been educated for engineering to make a little living. No. Animals also eat, but they don't make any provision. Krishna has provided them. So, why are we so much engaged in this kind of ignorant activities that one day it will all stop and will be in the same original ignorant state of existence? So for human body, which is a very favorable boat, chanting Hare Krishna is the favorable wind that will ply your boat, and your spiritual master will be the guide. Guru eva karanadharanam. Karanadhara means he is the navigator. So you can go to the desired goal of life. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains the methodology. But without such glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, who will be inclined to study? So the very first chapter describes the glorification of Bhagavatam because after Parikshit Maharaj left the body, Kali Yuga started while he was there and progressed so much that Shaunak and all the thousands of his disciples, they were volunteering themselves to conduct a 1,000-year sacrifice of glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there Vyasadeva starts the narration, but as usual, because this was the 18th Purana, there are 6 subjects that must be discussed in it. In every Purana, there's the creation, sub-creation, then maintenance, dissolution, then what is that? Uti. Uti means what? And how to transport oneself into the reality. That is, mukti is also coming in it, and progressive aspects of devotional service must be there, because our ultimate aim is not mukti. Those who are not devotees, mukti is also essential, but that is the end for them, because they don't have further information. So, going back home, back to Godhead, where we fell from, that is the important subject that yet have to be done. Mukti doesn't mean that you can go. Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita, Mukti hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. When you gain your own original swarup, by giving up all false designations that you have put on, that is mukti. Establish yourself into your constitutional position. Jivera swarupo nitya Krishna radas, Krishna tatastha shakti bheda bheda prakash. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to institute this and expedite going back home, back to Godhead. And all these narrations have been given in Srimad Bhagavatam. When Krishna Swadhamopagate Dharma Jnanadi Bisi, Vyasadeva timely, created Srimad Bhagavatam with transcendental nature. And in this literature, there is no involvement of the three modes of material nature. No involvement. So, that nature in the explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam has been given, that it's not mundane topic. Everything belongs to qualitatively same with the Supreme Lord and His part and parcel. The interaction between them and how it should develop as an education system that has been described. Prabhupada always saying there is no department of spiritual education in the whole world. So our foundations are coming from ignorance. We think what we are, but when we put into the practice of reality, we are baffled. So study of Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. The glorification of Bhagavatam was told in the first chapter itself, and the entry of Sukadeva Goswami comes in the second part of the first canto. His teachings are starting from the second canto. So the foundational topics are taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So first and second cantos are compared to the lotus feet of the Lord. So in this way, by even allegory and things that can be easily understood, our conception of who we are can be, described and understood. The word dharma, dharayati iti dharma, what is upholding us? What truth is there that upholds us? Neither we understand that truth, nor we experience our reality throughout the life. So it's a life of ignorance. Ignorance can be only removed through proper deliberation of intelligence. That's why even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains Buddhi Yoga, which is nothing but Bhakti Yoga. Buddhi Yoga is said to be Bhakti Yoga. Actually, there is an analytical study between the body and soul given in Bhagavad Gita, how it is distinguishable, and to analyze means to stepwise grow, understand the transcendental attributes of the soul. Na jayate mriyate va na kadachinnayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So many stepwise direction means counting the soul's qualities, soul's functionalities, soul's goal of life. It's there. So it is like Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Natipihi. We have to apply everything in our activities by numerological confirmation. As for example, when we take vows, Prabhupada said you have to chant 16 rounds per day. Are you prepared to take the vow? 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra, that takes almost 2 hours. Will you be able to spend? Because the holy name has transcendental potency. But without your intellectual determined sankalpa, you will not be able to keep it up. Because your mind becomes so strong that intelligence is subsided and you spoil your entire life. So everything, the Goswamis were also doing this. Nati means to offer obeisances. The Goswamis were determining in Vrindavan, I want to offer 108 times obeisances to the sadhus who are coming and passing through me. To everyone I will do. You know the Dandavati Parikrama? People put up stones, 108 stones. I want to perform 108 Dandavati Parikrama. Why number is there? Number confirms your determination. If you say, I'm chanting in my mind this and that, forget it. You cannot do. So, to convince your mind, you take the help of intelligence. Sankalpa is an intellectual process, not mental. If you live on the mental platform, you are a mental case throughout your life. You will not progress. So, whatever has been created, each and every elemental aspect, it is also in number. In number. There are 24 elements created by Lord Krishna. 5 objects of senses, 5 working senses, and 5 senses themselves. Working senses may be compared to the external senses. Or even internal senses work more than external senses that we know. We have an internal ear, but there is an external ear also. But instrument is internal. So ear as a whole is an instrument. But there are 5 objects that the senses will determine, and 5 senses are given, and 5 working senses are also given. So 15. Then earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego, 8, 23. Then the Mahat Tattva, 3 modes of material nature is surrounding. And then the entry of the soul and super soul is there. So such an atmosphere, the soul forgets himself. But the super soul is there. And as soon as a person gets awakened, trying to understand his surrounding and what he is supposed to do, he sees example, then wants to imitate. They are not coming with a pre-knowledge loaded in their brain. The animals they are naturally adapt to their own surrounding and their, what they call survival of the fittest. Forget the survival of the fittest. How many can become fittest? Only the fittest will rule? No. Our understanding, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, is that we don't have to give so much prominency to the external material nature. Rather, we have to become introvert, meditating on our internal reality that you do not know. Our knowledge is only skin deep. So when Srimad Bhagavatam talks of something beyond our experimental or working senses, it must have some logical application. When you go for physics and other things, that you have, say, measurement of temperature, all right? There is one side that is on increment, but if the temperature is going to go down, in Chicago, -30 is not a big deal, right? So what are the reactions? If there are both the sides of wavelength of the sound also there, why do we call chanting Hare Krishna as a transcendental sound vibration? Where does the transcendence begin? When material calculations are finished, transcendence begins. Prabhupada called it's a sublime process. Sublime process. What is sublimation? Those who have studied some science, yes? I couldn't, somebody can repeat after him. I forgot my hearing aids. Here comes.
It's like when a solid directly turns into a gas.
A solid matter is transformed
Into a gas.
into gas, and it can come back into solid matter also when it's cooled down. So it doesn't have to go through intermediate stage which is called liquid. So it is jumping up the intermediate steps. So Srila Prabhupada said, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a sublime method. What do you mean by sublime? Yeah, you will not know when simply chanting makes Krishna dance on your tongue. Isn't it sublime? In general dictionary, they avoid to translate the word sublime. You won't find it. One transports you immediately from physical level to spiritual level. That is called sublime. That's easy. Chant and be happy immediately. So what are the intermediary processes? No, you don't have to think much. If you analyze, then there are only five steps given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shrunvatam svakatham Krishna punya shravana kirtana Radayantascha Bhadrani vidonoti suritsatam Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayasya cheta eter anaviddam sthitam sattve prasidhati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate and vidyate hridaya granthi chindyanti sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani drashta evatmanishvare. So from simply hearing with rapt attention about the transcendental nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which not only cleanses the heart, but whatever inauspicious in our heart will become purified. We will become purified. And that will take you, transport you to not only liberation, but with the experience of prasannatma, that is mode of goodness, will be also coming and giving you the experience. But you don't stop at that. You will become liberated. And only in liberated condition, when your all doubts and things are removed, then even while acting, you will not be in problem of entanglement. Chindyanti sarva samshaya and kshiyante chasya karmani. Only in that position you will come face to face. You, yourself, that you do not know, you will be exposed to yourself. And the Supreme Master, the Controller, Ishvara. So, Atma Sakshatkar and Paramatma Sakshatkar, both are right at the same time. It's only in 5 slokas. But still, when we are so much obsessed by the mind and never utilize the intelligence and never try to follow the educational process that will really reform us from a material man to a transcendental devotee. So, no other literature so far that Vyasadeva wrote was giving any clue to the transcendental nature, and therefore Narad Muni chastised him. What welfare did you do for humanity? You never showed anything to make them out of this mire of Maya. So, to know the ultimate welfare, that is called Sreya. Right now we are all engaged in prayer, little beneficial things, but not the ultimate one. Srimad Bhagavatam said, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Sre Uttamam Shastre Parecha Nishnatam Brahmani Samupashraya. Therefore you must approach a bona fide spiritual master for your ultimate welfare. And that is transcendental welfare. Go back home, back to Godhead. It's not only a lofty idea or titles. No. It becomes reality. So, Saunak and other rishis, they welcomed Suta Goswami, who was direct disciple of Srila Vyasadeva, but at the same time he heard from Sukadeva Goswami, Srimad Bhagavatam. He heard from it. And then when he came down, so he was told, because he became transcendentalist, and Suta was installed by Balaram himself to speak on the subject of Srimad Bhagavatam. His father, Romaharsha was a Purani, a Kathakar. And he was eldest, so he was given the seat. But when Balaram appeared in the arena, he didn't get up to give proper respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everybody got up. So Balaram noticed this, that how could he can, spread the glories of the holy name if he has not imbued the etiquette of Vaishnavism. So he took a blade of grass and touched his face and he died. So then Balaram put Sutta Goswami, was perfected by listening to Sukadeva Goswami. So he is glorified by the Saunak Muni. Sutam janasi bhadram te. My dear Sutta Goswami, you know what is the ultimate welfare of the whole humanity. That is called Bhadram. All right? And today is what we call Bhadra Purnima. All right? But it is Bhadrava is the word for this particular month. In Gujarati we call it Bhadarva. Right? So Bhadrava, this Purnima happens to be in that. And Sutta Goswami, after narrating Srimad Bhagavatam, explains the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam that he heard from Sukadeva Goswami's mouth. And he glorifies so much. This is the ultimate welfare is given here. So anyone who gives this literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, for himself or for others. So give it to your friends. Anybody who donates Srimad Bhagavatam becomes well qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. That is the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I remember about 4 or 5 years back when Bhima Prabhu from Mumbai and BBT brought the idea first that we should distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets on Bhadra Purnima. He started spreading the word around and people, devotees took. It is only, I think, 5 or 6 years old project, not older than that. They were distributing, but they were not knowing the significance which has been given in 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the last chapter. So the Goswami says, let me read that verse for you. The glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Which one? This is one of the last.
Here it is.
What's that?
If on the full moon.
Number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 13th.
13. Okay.
They are saying that
Yeah, here it
some
is.
ceremonies to be performed. So
Yeah. Okay, all right. Praushtrapadyam Pauranamasyaam Hema Simha Samanvitam Dadati Yo Bhagavatam Sayati Paramam Gatim. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. It's not simply a sales speech. Because the subject matter, the value of this subject matter is more important. What else a human being can achieve more than that? The ultimate welfare. So, try to understand the importance of Srila Prabhupada writing Srimad Bhagavatam in 60 volumes. Prabhupada wanted to do in 60 volumes. In the first canto he did 3 volumes, but he wanted to spend the entire life in translating Srimad Bhagavatam into 60 volumes. But seeing all other things like affordability to print out something, it was tried in 30 volumes at first, but then it was small books. They are still available, right? But then in 18 volume sets they have been doing, which will be, I think, very comfortable way. They also try to see different pricing in the, that is affordability will be there. One who does not want a jacket on it and better built volumes. So they are much cheaper. But regardless, every BBT is trying to put that can be afforded by everybody. In the beginning, Sasrup Maharaj and the library teams, they were giving sets of Srimad Bhagavatam in the universities all around USA. And they were appreciating. Some asked for several sets, and Prabhupada was very pleased. Otherwise, they were doing charity. Each volume is so potent. Generally, I tell my story even. In, I think, 1974 or 5, I had been associating with the devotees since 1971. But in 1975, it so happened that during Christmas, the first canto, first volume, they printed in about 500,000 copies, the biggest order ever. And devotees were distributing free during Christmas time. And there was some kind of opposition that how come these devotees are showing in our throat, Srimad Bhagavatam, even though we are not interested. And many were throwing virtually in garbage. My father in New Jersey went to see the Christmas lights in Rockefeller Center, Radio City Music Hall and other. So there he saw in the garbage can one Bhagavatam. He picked up and I read it and I finished my life. It's so potent, so potent. Everybody is a religious person, otherwise they will not. But try to utilize your intelligence, and the first volume itself is going to give you so much. Then you can expand yourself. Of course, later on, my father became my disciple. Later. My mother also got second initiation. So the idea is that we have to understand the transcendental potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because that is divine, and Krishna wants us to understand Him in reciprocation of divinity that we cultivate. Otherwise, He is not known. Nayama atmana pravachanena labhya thava bahuna shrutena va. However, you may give lectures after lectures on the transcendental matter, but Krishna will not be available to you. Or you hear Bhagavad Kathas till your ears are perforated. Bhagavad Katha suni phutya kan toyenayu brahmagya. So that is the situation. But Srimad Bhagavatam will not allow you. You have to understand through the purports of Srila Prabhupada, who has so kindly done it by his own personal spiritual potency. Why Srila Prabhupada is so much distinguishable than the other gurus and sannyasis? Because Supreme Personality of Godhead invests His own potencies in him, and he became available to execute through his spiritual master's order. However simple order is that. He made an empire of transcendental nature, and that is what the devotees are supposed to thrive on. So thank you very much. Anybody has any question? Please take home Srimad Bhagavatam set. Or if you have, purchase and give gift today is most auspicious, because it is written in Srimad Bhagavatam by Sutta Goswami. His transcendental words are there. Any question? No question. You all have Bhagavatam sets? Who doesn't have? Please raise your hand. You might have Encyclopedia Britannica or some kind of, even for some references when you have children. But that is garbage. That is, but this is Paramahansya Samhitam. This is the conclusive literature for those who are Paramahamsas. Paramahamsa means transcendentalists who have reached to the highest spiritual level. And their characters also befit the Paramahamsas. Hamsa, you know, it's a swan. You know Niraskshira Vivek of Hamsa? You must have heard that Hamsa only takes milk and leaves the water behind. Means you have to extract only the main elixir, and whatever, how much it has been diluted, you leave it, you separate it out. So, the world is full of different kinds of knowledge, but it is all garbage. They call it is a garbage for the crows around it. There's a slok, in this conclusive statements of the last chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. See, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsasya Ka Amalam Jnanam Paripangiyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Nishkarmyam Avishkritam Tachruman Supatan Vichara Paro Bhaktya Vimuchidnaraha. It is also saying, Na yadva charitrashchitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragranita karhichit tad dvangsha tirtha natu hamsa sevitam yatram achyuta tatra he sadhavo amalaha. Those words that do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered to be likened to the place of pilgrimage for the crows and are never resorted to by those situated in the transcendental knowledge. The pure and saintly devotees take interest only in the topics glorifying the infallible Supreme Lord. Tadvaga visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratislokam abaddhavatapavi namani anantasya yasho ankitani tat shrunvanti gayanti grananti sadhava. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms and pastimes and so on of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization, that is us. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Okay, thank you so much. It was wonderful to hear from Maharaj about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj glorified how Srimad Bhagavatam was composed by Vyasadeva. So we would like to continue with the functions today. So should we request the devotees who are receiving the Bhagavatam? There are some devotees who are receiving the Bhagavatam. Are they here now? Okay. Yeah, 1 second. So yeah, before that. So today is Bhadra Purnima, and of course, many of the devotees here have been working very, very hard. And as Maharaj mentioned, this Bhadra Purnima Srimad Bhagavatam initiative has been revived over the last 5-6 years in ISKCON. So special emphasis on Bhadra Purnima and Srimad Bhagavatam. So this year, for example, the worldwide goal was to distribute, how many sets? 55,000? 55,000 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And of course, as Maharaj was mentioning, these Bhagavatam sets of Srila Prabhupada, they are like time bombs. They may sit on your shelf for years and years, and one day they will explode in a good way. I mean, bhakti, they'll explode in bhakti. And so similarly here, so in ISKCON Nilpivul, under the guidance of Sridhari Prabhu and other devotees, so this year they took a sankalpa to double what they distributed last year. So last year they distributed 200 odd sets. So this year, shooting for the rhinoceros, as they say, they shot for 400. And we are very happy to inform you that we have distributed almost 235 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Haribo! And as Maharaj is mentioning, we have received sponsorship for 150 sets of Bhagavatam. So devotees here, so there was an initiative called Platinum Set. So devotees have sponsored 10 sets, 20 sets. I will like to name them if you don't mind. So the devotees that have sponsored 10 sets, so out of all these sponsors, we have accomplished another 150 odd sets. So we are very close to the goal. So 250 plus 235 plus 150 is 385. So 400 is close. So but anyway, so these Bhagavatam sets need a home. Need a home. So if you would like to receive one, like I see one lady across there, she received a set from us last time in Telugu. So yeah, please take it. You know, it's a gift. It's a matchless gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving. So please contact one of us if you would like to receive a sponsored Bhagavatam. If you would like to sponsor a Bhagavatam, you can still do so, or you can receive a Bhagavatam, and then maybe next year you're inspired to give somebody else this gift. You know, once you read the Bhagavatam, you'll understand the value of it. Yeah. So these are the devotees that have sponsored sets, platinum sponsors, so 10 sets. Naishil Patel, Daivi Shakti Mataji, Vamshidhari Prabhu here is sponsored 2 platinum sets, so 20 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shatarupa Mataji, his wife, 10 sets. Govinda Mohini Mataji, 10 sets. Arudha Mataji, 10 sets. Gopal Hari Prabhu and his wife, 10. Sandhya Mataji here, sorry, if it's okay, yeah. Beg, borrow or steal, not steal, but beg, borrow or loan, distribute a set. So she is Mataji has agreed to distribute 10 sets, even taking a loan. Ajit Prabhu and Rachna Mataji, Padmavati Mataji, Prahlad Priya Prabhu, Sanatan Prema Prabhu, Devi Gopi Mataji, Rupa Mataji and Vinod Bihari Prabhu here in front of us. Saragrahi Mataji, Madhavi Mataji, family together, 10 sets. Amani Radha Mataji and Krishna Kishore Prabhu, 10 sets. So that takes us to 385. Anyway, so, and we have requested the devotees who have taken a set to come today and have one of their, copies here. We are going to do archana. So literally this Bhagavatam can be, worship. I'll end with one small story. Just this morning I was hearing His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj. He is currently in Indore and he was glorifying Bhagavatam. He was saying one day, he was actually reading Srimad Bhagavatam of Srila Prabhupada. And he was saying that literally the words from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that they jumped out of him, out to him from the Bhagavatam.
Some ceremonies are
They spoke, the word spoke. And then Maharaj was explaining so that this book Bhagavatam is not just a book, it's a person. It can be worshipped, it should be worshipped, just like how we worship a deity. And of course, that makes sense because Srila Prabhupada even dictated all these purports through his dictaphone. So Prabhupada spent every night from midnight, 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, just imagine as Maharaj was explaining, to deliver Bhagavatam for us, for whom? People that he didn't even know. So he did that, and so we are saying, whether you know somebody or not, give a Bhagavatam. It doesn't have to be your family members. It could be anyone. And if I had an idea to have a chain of gifting, but I don't think we have time, let's say one Mataji gives a gift to someone, she gives a gift to another one. Yeah, why should we only consider, me and my family? Everybody, as Maharaj was saying, survival of the fittest. Nobody's going to survive. Everybody's going to die, Prabhupada says. That. So, let us be broad-minded. Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate Vasudeva Kutumbam. So whether you know somebody or not, the only eligibility is who is sincere to receive the Bhagavatam. And some people are not. For example, last Sunday, we offered a set to one person, gentleman. I invited him this morning. He calls me. Anyway, he has the nerve to say that he was upset by what the speaker said last time. I said, what did he say? He said, this Bhagavatam, even if this Bhagavatam is kept on your house, in your house on the bookshelf, it will bring value. He said he didn't like that idea, proposal that it could even sit on the shelf. I said, excuse me, this gentleman that you're talking about, he spent the last 55 years giving his life to Bhagavatam. And you are talking about having an issue with what he said about having the Bhagavatam on the shelf? Anyway, he was offending a Vaishnava. So I said, anyway, he's speaking because there are people like you, like that. So what if the Bhagavatam sits on the shelf? It's okay. So anyway, so he said, thank you, but no thank you. So people, as Maharaj is saying, people don't understand what is of value. And I said, anyway, thank you. I think, anyway, the Bhagavatam doesn't want to come to you. I think it'll go to some other place, which is, who's ready for it. I had to tell him that. So anyway, so we have Bhagavatams. So if anybody wants to receive, the only eligibility is, the eagerness to receive it. That's all. We have no qualifications as such. So we will do the Arati now. And then, as I said, if anybody wants to receive a set, then please come forward. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you. Yes, everybody please come forward. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna. Please take flowers in your hands and please repeat after me. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadatisva Padantikam Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Parcharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Now we're going to recite the prayers by Sanatan Goswami on the glorification of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satphala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya Sarva Lokaika Drikprada Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kali Dvanto Ditaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita Paramananda Pataya Prema Varshaksharayate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostute Madeka Bandhu Matsangin Madguru Man Mahadana Man Nistaraka Madbhagya Madananda Namostute Asadu Saduta Dayin Ati Nicho Chata Kara Hana Muncha Kata Chinman Prem Nahrut Kantayospura. Now we will say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and offer flowers 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Esha Pushpanjali Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Esha Pushpanjali Om Namo Esha Anjali. Now we will have Arati for the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Nita Gaura Hari Nita Gaura Hari Hare Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo.
जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशी श्रीमद His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Bhivdi Founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishwapada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जाए। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज में वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समावित भक्तवृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Thank you. I don't know. No.
Before everybody leaves, we have some receivers who would like to take Srimad Bhagavatam with them. So I would like to call their names. So please come and then receive Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have Sachin Prabhu. Sachin Prabhu is here. Haribol. Maharaj. Next we have Uma Prasad Prabhu. We have Pramod Prabhu. Ramakrishna Prabhu. Naresh Prabhu. We have Saujanya Mataji from Saujanya Mataji. Is she here? And we have one Hindi set. We have Sindhu, Lokar and family. One more Hindi one. We have Shilpi Mataji. Ela and Kiran Patel. We have one more. And we have Kavita Mataji from Rameshwari Mataji. I think that's it. No, these are their own. Allison Braxton. For Allison. I think. We have more?
These are new ones.
Oh, this is from Jagadanand Prabhu.
I think the other name is not here today.
Okay, two English new one, one English new one. Shri Mataji.
Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, English.
Randa.
Who am I? Telugu one I will give. And Venkat Prabhu. I will give. Narmada Mataji. She received? Okay.
We are missing one on Vinod Prabhu.
But this is
Asha Oberoi from Saragrahi Mataji. You want to give us? Srini and Praturam? Srini?
Srini, yeah. Srini here?
Okay. Anybody who doesn't have would like to take Bhagavatam? Anybody here who would like to take?
Here, yes, he wants us, he will take a sponsorship. Thank
Your
you.
name, Prabhu?
Your good name? Nimai.
Nimai Prabhu. Anybody else who doesn't have would like to take?
Yeah, thank you.
उनको है ना अभी वो बोल रही है उनको इंग्लिश वाला
कोई
चाहिए
बात
तो
नहीं।
हिंदी इंग्लिश वाला एक बुक दे दी
You see, or anybody else who doesn't have a
Give him
training, might as well take one.
Vinod Prabhu.
Correct.
Suniti Mataji.
Dhruva's mother. Correct.
Okay, anybody else who doesn't have?
Who has Bhagavatam? Anybody else would like to have a Bhagavatam? We are not charging you anything. If you want one, take one for free. Or somebody sponsoring it, sorry. Yeah.
Sponsoring it.
And maybe next time you can give a gift.
Okay, thank you all so much for coming and participating in this festival. We have dinner prasadam served downstairs, so please don't leave without taking prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you all. Especially thanks to devotees who have taken a lot of spiritual anxiety, like Namshid Hari Prabhu and Govinda Mohini Mataji and everyone else. Gopal Hari Prabhu, I know many other devotees have been going book distribution for many Saturdays, Patel brothers, etc. So Srila Prabhupada is definitely pleased with all of you. Thank you for your services. Hare Krishna.
And we need some help with cleaning, so if few devotees can stay back and help us clean. And whoever received the